House in Sydney. Good morning, Treasurer.
Good morning. Nice to be with you, Lisa.
Hey, can we turn to the top line that we've had this morning, which is from WHO announcing that coronavirus is now a pandemic. How does that change things for Australia?
Well, we've been taking the advice all along from our Chief Medical Officer, Lisa, and we've been treating it as a pandemic. And as you know, we moved ahead of the rest of the world in putting in place travel restrictions, as well as providing the assisted departure from Australians out of China and other places in the world where they've been impacted by this virus. And of course, yesterday we announced a very substantial package of measures to boost our health preparedness, working with the states. So today we'll be announcing our fiscal response, but we certainly have been treating this like a pandemic for some time.
And with today's announcement, this is all about trying to stave off a recession, isn't it?
Well, it's a very substantial package and it's designed in response to a very significant challenge. Importantly, all these measures are designed to boost economic growth, are designed to boost investment, designed to keep people in jobs and to help boost the confidence across the Australian economy. The measures are also targeted. The measures are temporary and the measures are very proportionate based on the best advice from the Treasury officials.
The AMA president said, well, good start, but it's going to take more. Are you open to that?
Well, of course, we're maintaining a watching brief as this pandemic evolves across the world and here in Australia. But what we do know is that we've already deployed substantial resources, and what you'll see from the package today is it's very focused on business. It's very focused on assisting them with cash flow. We're using the existing tax and transfer system. We're providing a wage subsidy to 117,000 apprentices through their employers, because we want to keep them employed despite some of the economic challenges. And we're giving a supercharge to the instant asset write-off, which is currently to $30,000 for businesses with a turnover of up to $50 million. And we're extending that to $150,000 for businesses with a turnover up to $500 million. So what that means, Lisa, is that 99% of Australian businesses can go out, do a shop fit out, buy a truck, buy a tractor, spend up to $150,000 on things for their business and write it off straight away.
What about for the vulnerable? What are you offering them?
We'll be making some further announcements later this morning, but obviously the measures that we're announcing are very targeted. They're targeted on the people who need it most, as well as obviously the businesses who are doing it tough at this time.
We heard from Dan Andrews over the last couple of days talking about some extreme measures that might need to be taken. Are we now at that point with the pandemic?
Well, of course, we're taking measures that we've never taken before in terms of locking down travel from particular countries. And certainly the health officials are working very cooperatively across state and territory boundaries to ensure that the people get the support that they need. And this economic response is in response to what is a health crisis with a very significant economic impact. We're not solving for the GFC. The challenges during the GFC were very different. That was a banking and that was a liquidity crisis. This is a health crisis that is disrupting end-to-end supply chains, hurting particular sectors, and that's what you'll see our response very much calibrated to.
It is a health crisis, and that's why so many events have been cancelled and we're hearing about more every day. Are you comfortable that the Grand Prix is going ahead?
Well, Lisa, of course, that will be a decision for the relevant authorities. We're having a National Security Committee meeting later today, and no doubt we'll be briefed by the Chief Medical Officer and other relevant officials about issues related to events such as those. But at the end of the day, that will be a decision that will be taken at the relevant official level.
That's not a yes.
Well, again, this is moving so quickly. I would like to see people continue to go about their daily lives. Certainly, I've been going on planes, staying at hotels, meeting with groups of people. That is how I'm going about it. That's how the Prime Minister is going about it. But again, state officials, medical officials, they'll they'll be taking decisions based on the best advice that they have.
Just finally, Treasurer, we've seen the markets close in the last little while in the US. It has been a very bad day. They are officially in a bear market. What do you say to people as the Australian markets open today? This is going to be bad, isn't it?
Well, there's a lot of uncertainty out there, and that is being reflected in the volatility, not just in the equity markets, but also in the debt and the credit markets. I've spoken to the head of the Reserve Bank, as well as with the head of the Australian Prudential Regulatory Authority. Yesterday, I met with the banks themselves. What is very clear is that the markets remain open, they remain orderly. Yes, they are volatile. They've also been coming off particular highs off the back of last year, but this is a very uncertain environment, and that uncertainty is playing out in equity markets. But what we'll see from the government today is a very substantial package that is designed, Lisa, to boost confidence, to keep Australians in jobs and to keep Australian businesses in business.
Treasurer, thanks for your time.
Good to be with you.